elder statesman here is Pastornak by 3 years. He's got a whopping 6 centimetre height advantage over Ataides.
Let's break down their strengths, Michael. Check out the grappling advantage is going to go to Ataides.
Touch go if you want. Bug your corner.
Final instructions from our centre referee, Olivier Coast. We are ready for the first round of action. It's Brazil versus Poland. Two men very well equipped on the ground. Ataides, a legend in grappling, five-time world BJJ champion.
Fight!
Pastornak, no slouch either. He's a former Abu Dhabi grappling champion.
With all those grappling credentials, you would not be surprised if this fight goes to the ground, but both fighters have been talking extensively about keeping it on the feet and trading shots.
Pasternak said his game plan here tonight is to draw Ataides into deep water. He believes the cardio isn't matching his, and if he can get Leandro out of the first round, the Brazilian will tie it. Meanwhile, Ataides said he'll get Pasternak on the ground and sub him out via an armbar. It's Pastornak in the black shorts here in the southpaw stance.
Both fighters just kind of feeling each other out with the jab, trying to gauge that distance. Good movement, circling away from the power of the powerful Brazilian.
Looking for a counter right hand, the lead right in the southpaw, overhand right there from Pastornak. Drifts backwards now, looking to control center cage the pole. Ataides, you know, the first chance he gets to take down Pastornak, he'll go for it.
Big looping strikes coming off that lead hand of Pasternak. Very odd to see a lead overhand right, but he's throwing it.
High right roundhouse there from the Brazilian. Produced the knockout of the year in 2016, a flying knee knockout of Muhammad Ali. Can you repeat here tonight and get airborne? Fake there off the backhand from Pastornak. Telegraphed the overhand right. Still a filling out process here in the opening round. Set for 3. Ataides goes down the center corridor with the right hand and a short left hook. Fakes the right cross. Awkward angle on that punch there from the Brazilian. Looks to cut off the cage.
Yeah, he's trying to step forward, cutting the distance off, kind of utilizing different footwork, showing some different looks for Pasternak to, not quite get comfortable in the striking.
Ataides now trying to control center cage. Pastornak jabs his way in. He was in orthodox stance there. Goes back to his favored southpaw stance.
You can see how Ataides, he goes in with the jab and he steps forward with the right as he's coming in, changing his footwork. We're seeing a lot of fighters nowadays alternate back and forth between southpaw and orthodox stances. It's that next level of striking.
Still a standing contest here, as we said earlier. Both men very well versed and champions on the ground. And this one so far a glorified kickboxing contest. Jab there from the Brazilian.
Yeah, but they're two different levels of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu credentials. Ataides is a world champion, while Pasternak is just a regional Abu Dhabi.
Ataides a 77% finishing rate. Pasternak 58% finishing rate. Tries to thread that left cross down the center corridor. Good outside thigh kick from Pasternak, just above the knee to that common peroneal nerve. Jumping knee from Ataides. Our shadows of the Muhammad Ali knockout there in the first round from Leandro Ataides.
He loves to take flight, looking for the high flying. Not a lot of damage done there, but he's definitely showing these little bit of fanciness to his strikes. He's putting them out there.
The win against Ali was much needed for Leandro last year. It turned the tide on a 3-fight losing streak. How he'd love to keep the wins going here tonight and knock out Pastornak. Pastornak did say yesterday he believes Ataides is most powerful in the first round.
Yeah, but that knockout of Muhammad Ali came late into the fight, so he reserved a lot of that power. So he's actually learning how to control his energy output so he can last longer into the fight.
Ataides switching stance now, and he catches Pastornak with a right out of southpaw. There's a bolo-style uppercut from Ataides. Quite a difference in camp between these two men. Ataides had a 12-week training camp. Pastornak, a 5-week camp. Outside leg kick from the pole. Probing with the lead hand hands here. Makes it a little awkward when you're an orthodox fighting a southpaw, and those lead hands do tend to clash up like that, Mitch.
Yeah, they do, but they're just kind of, you can just see them, they're just kind of find their range, trying to really understand just how close and how far that is. You know, when you're a southpaw, you're used to fighting right-handed fighters, but when you're a right-handed fighter, orthodox, you really don't get a lot of looks at southpaws.
Ataides has been known for explosive first rounds in the past. He's got 4 first-round knockouts. Quickest was in 21 seconds over Ricardo Silva in Shudo. Is he going to launch a knee here just before the bell? Oh, counter right-handed beauty there from Pasternak. Drifts off the cage, threads an overhand right. Switcher stance, and we go to the towels at the end of 1.
Pretty good. Let's go back and take a look at some of the striking from Ataides, and I think that's been the difference of the fight. You can see he lands that leaping jab, jumping in like a fencer, getting away from the counter left hook, or right hook rather. So we're seeing Ataides land strikes and then evade. Rich Franklin, how did you have that first round?
You know, this first round has been all about the stand-up game, and I think that the difference here is that Ataides is doing a really good job of lulling Pasternak in. He looks very relaxed and slow and paced, and then all of a sudden he'll explode with a good right cross or that knee that we saw in the replay. So not a significant or extreme lead, but I have him ahead on the scorecards right now. Striking superiority, I would give him the decision at this point.
Whistle sounds and we are ready for the second round here. Set for 3. Opening fight of our prelim card. It's One Championship Kings and Conquerors live from the Venetian in Macau.
Good.
No takedowns, no ground game at all in the opening round. Will we see
Right, fighters
these two
ready?
monsters
Ready?
go to ground here in the second? Fight! Pasternak showing in the first, he is very capable with the counter punching. Ataides got airborne once with a flying knee. Fake there from Pasternak in his preferred southpaw stance again. Ataides is setting his right hand here, and he fires it off Mitch.
You can start to see Pasternak starting to circle away from that right hand of Ataides. He's not trying to get backed up. You can see what Ataides is trying to do. He's trying to put Pasternak's back up against the cage so he can launch some of these flying strikes. But Pasternak needs to keep moving. He needs to keep circling out to that weaker side of Ataides.
Setting the right hand again, perhaps here Ataides. It's Pasternak who goes down the center. Both men launching the heavy artillery early on here in the second. Looping left hand there from Leandro Ataides.
You know, this was Pasternak's game plan. He wants to pull this fight into deeper water, so Ataides starts to get a bit fatigued, but releasing energy conservation from Ataides. He's not really putting everything into each one of these shots. He's landing shots, not really exerting a lot of energy, no takedown attempts, like you said, Michael. Just that constant forward pressure and landing with the strikes, but then getting out and evading the counter.
Pasternak, who was quite the revelation in Poland at the start of his career, went 11-0, an amazing streak in Europe before signing with One Championship. Little jab there from Ataides. Still, we have a striking contest. There is no indication of either man looking to take this fight to the ground. Lunges, overreaches a little with that rear left hand as Pasternak. There's the counter from the pole, beautifully timed.
Yeah, Ataides is trained with some of the top strikers in Brazil out there at Novo Leon. Trains with Jose Aldo, Renan Barão. Just some of the top level strikers, and he's really learned a lot, and that's where he likes to keep things. He likes to keep things on his feet, and he's showing good head movement here. He really hasn't been hit with a lot of shots from Pasternak. Pasternak's just out of range.
So he's a 5-time world BJJ champion and a gold medalist in the Copa del Mundo. Ataides has had only 2 wins by submission, 5 by knockout.
He prefers to entertain the crowd. That's definitely, his game plan is to keep this fight on his feet and throw those hands.
Pasternak drifting towards his right, staying out of range of the right hand of Leandro Ataides. Ataides has shown already in this round he's got some pepper in that right hand.
You know, I'd like to see, Ataides start throwing in some leg kicks. Start softening up that lead leg there of Pasternak, because he has suffered a leg injury in the past, but he showed so much determination and so much heart and spirit of a warrior by fighting through the second half of that fight with a nasty leg injury.
Pasternak almost shaving the beard there with that right hand to the chin of Ataides. Lots of concentration on these two martial artists. Outside leg kick, nice step across there from Pasternak.
So Pasternak's the one that decides to go after the legs. I like that. Mix things up a little bit. If they're only throwing one weapon, your opponent can get a lot more comfortable with knowing what's coming at him.
Despite what Pasternak told us yesterday, it doesn't look like Leandro Ataides is slowing down at all. In fact, he loads up that left hand again, throws it as an overhand. Good left hook there from Pasternak, then a little quarter turn off to his left, drifts back towards the right now.
Ataides is starting to create better angles. He's throwing punches and stepping off to the side, not being there for the straight counter.
Left hand down the tube from Pasternak, left hook from Ataides, didn't quite turn the knuckles in, backs up the pole now. Jab from the Brazilian. Under a minute remaining, second round of 3, wild uppercut there from Ataides.
Striking advantage has definitely got to be going to Ataides at this point. He's landing so many more strikes, consistent forward pressure, and he's just barely out of the way. The first big takedown of the fight.
We're on the canvas for the first time tonight. Ataides, top position here, half guard for the Brazilian. Back elbows from Pasternak, trying to attack the ear of Ataides. Now let's see who has the upper hand on the ground. Ataides just looking to smother Pasternak on the ground here, and Pasternak wants to control Ataides' posture and not allow the Brazilian to work those heavy hands in the ground and pound.
Nice way for Ataides to end the round on top, delivering a ground and pound. Stuck in the half guard. Very good. Let's take a look at some of that past action. These are some of the hands. Look at that. He evaded the jab, came back with a left-right combination of his own. But the big story of that round was the takedown. Look at this. Double leg, shoots in underneath the punches, secures the takedown to finish the round on top.
We're broadcasting 128 countries tonight. Wherever you're watching around the world, here are some of the places you can check us out. For more, check your local listings or go to 1ppv.com. Tremendous end to that second round for Leandro Ataides, getting the takedown on Pasternak, trying to smother him and maul him on the ground. And let's see what Pasternak has up his sleeve for the third and final. Great crowd continues to file in here in the Conte Arena in Macau. We are expecting a sellout.
I don't think Pasternak's completely out of this. He's got to be definitely a lot more active in this third and final round. He's got to push the pace and probably have to score a significant knockdown or submission attempt. But Ataides has got a really good game plan. He's conserving his energy well, in and out of strikes, evading damage, and he also landed that big takedown to end the round there in second.
It may be all for Michael Pasternak to do here in the third and final. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this contest. And Ataides switching starts, and he eats a nice left hand from the pole. Pasternak looks like he's got a little bit more gusto behind him. His corner is screaming to him, Michael, move, Michael, move. They don't want him to be flat-footed here, because when you're flat-footed, Ataides can tee off on you with the heavy hands.
You see that constant forward pressure, these lunging shots by Ataides, but he's mixing them up. He's showing different angles on every single one of his strikes.
Mitch, if you're in the corner of Pasternak, what are you telling him to do here?
He's got to soften up that lead leg. He's only throwing one leg kick the entire fight, and that actually landed quite successfully. He's got to keep consistently mixing up these combinations. And his left jab really isn't a jab. It's like this swinging, sweeping hook. He's got to throw these stinging jabs out there, because then he just throws that naked straight right, and Ataides is nowhere to be found.
Looping left hand again there from Ataides. With just over 3 minutes and 30 remaining, Michal Pasternak, the man from Kalisz in South Central Poland, needs to get to work. Jab from Ataides just keeping Pasternak at bay. Is it time for Pasternak to switch things up here? Maybe look for a takedown of his own and try and change the recipe.
We'd love to see him try to shoot and be a little bit more aggressive. Right now he's he's starting to try things. He's trying to throw strikes, but Ataides has just got his head moving constantly, so a lot of these strikes are not landing clean. He's being aggressive in the third round, but he's not really increasing his significant strike advantage.
Back to southpaw stands for Pasternak, switches to orthodox, corner and telling him to switch, they're telling him to start throwing down. Looks for the outside leg kick, misses the target.
See, it's hard to throw a kick like that when you don't set it up with some punches behind it. The footwork of Ataides has been very slick all night. Constant movement. His head is never in the same spot. Every time he throws a punch, he leans to the left or right to evade the counter strikes.
Ooh, spinning back fist there from Ataides. Just caught the neck of Pasternak.
I like that look. He faked the roundhouse kick, came around with a spinning back fist.
Ataides may have knocked out Muhammad Ali last time, and he started to do a bit of an Ali shuffle then. Confidence oozing on Leandro Ataides, who, contrary to what Pasternak thought yesterday, has not tired out. Beautiful evasion there and retaliation from Ataides.
See, he strikes and his head is constantly moving, Michael.
Controlling center cage. It may be desperation times now for Michal Pasternak of Poland. Time becomes Pasternak's enemy.
He's got a minute and 45 to start putting the hurt on. He's got to continue to push forward. Can't let Ataides control the center of the cage.
Ataides just looking to walk him down. Pasternak takes a little stroll, resets himself, fires the left cross down the tube. Oh, Ataides tags him on the jaw. Pasternak nodded at him and said, yep, you got me with that one. Beautiful balk right hand there. Ataides just oozing confidence here in the final round. Showboating a little. Good right hand. High left roundhouse kick from Ataides. He has out-kickboxed Pasternak here tonight.
Like outboxed him here tonight. He's definitely just thrown a variety of punches that have landed clean. And Pasternak really doesn't have an answer for the striking of Ataides. He attempted the flying knee again. That seems to be his favorite strike. Constantly moving heads, never in the same spot. Look at that. Moving, but dodging left and right, stepping in, nice lands. See, lands the leg kick. I'd like to see more of that from Ataides.
A beautiful right hand, snake back to the kisser there from Leandro Ataides. Pasternak has taken some solid shots to the jaw in this closing round. 20 seconds remaining now. Looks for a takedown, Pasternak, but it's far too little, too late from the pole. Something he should have tried to employ earlier, Mitch.
Yeah, nice straight right hand landed by Ataides, shaking the hand around, ready to let it go.
Oh, and he staggers him with the right hand just before the bell and a flying knee. Leandro Ataides bringing it home strongly. The Brazilian on fire. Damn, what a way to end for Leandro Ataides. He pumps his fists into the air.
Impressive overall showing from Leandro Ataides. He's not only coming off a huge knockout victory in his last one, there's that fake roundhouse attempt, lands the spinning back fist. Just an overall striking clinic put on by the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Michael.
Rich Franklin, your thoughts on this one? What a final round from Leandro Ataides.
He definitely put a great game plan together at the end. You know, actually in the second round, I thought that Pasternak started to close the distance a little bit with the striking. He found a home for that overhand right. But about midway through that round, Leandro really started honing in on that right hand, exploding with those strikes, and he came in more explosive. I'll give Leandro the decision on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of battle, we turn to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored this fight in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from the red corner, Leandro Ataides.
Leandro Ataides takes it by unanimous decision. Fantastic victory for the veteran Brazilian. Ataides now 10-3.